right. Good morning, everybody. Just make sure I'm live everywhere, or trying to be. It's taking a second. Okay, I think we are live. Good morning, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and today is our weekly eCom planning session. This session is so important because of the fact that we are going into the month of May, and May starts tomorrow. So you still have time to finish strong in the month of April. You got all of today to accomplish the goals that you had set for the month of April and to knock those out. You also have today to rebuild or regroup on your game plan based on where you are in your journey in your e-commerce business. So if you haven't been getting the sales you've been wanting to get, if you haven't been uh, able to find the products you've been hoping to find or source or sell the products, if you feel like this is the time in which you've got to get better at a couple of different things, maybe your keyword research or sourcing strategy, um, you're knowing what your numbers are, you get to hit the reset button when it comes to next week. And so I'm excited for you. And so whatever success you had in the month of April, I'm excited for you as well. So again, my name is Nicole Whitlock. I'm with eCom Sellers, and my passion is helping people along their e-commerce journey. Whether you're a new seller or an existing seller, if you've been selling for a while and you just feel a little deflated, maybe you're ready to expand to a new platform, you're just not really sure what to do and how to get started. If you feel like you're a little less organized than you'd like to be, and you want to get more organized, more focused, and more committed in your business, if you want to increase your productivity, increase your consistency, all of those things, then I'm here for you. So you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. We can go through and look at your business. I can help you reorganize and restructure things so that you can increase your productivity, increase your focus, your concentration, set some goals, some objectives in your business. I am here to help you. So you can go to ecomsellers.com, click on freebies, and schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. If you feel like you need some support and all of the things that I mentioned before resonate with you, just not really sure where to start, or you feel like you need to hit the reset button and you need some support, I encourage you to join ecomsellersacademy.com. You can go to ecomsellersacademy.com and join for $17.99 a month. Well, you'll get free support. You'll get support, not free support, but it's $17.99. You'll get support. You'll get a weekly retail arbitrage, online arbitrage leads list. You'll also get wholesale list. You'll gain access to live weekly training. And you can go through and decide which roadmap, which method of e-commerce you want to tackle first and go down that path. And if you feel like I do need to be a little more organized. The thing that we highly recommend is that you grab your e-commerce planner. We have the ultimate e-commerce sellers planner, and you can grab that by going to myecomplanner.com. You can get the digital version or the physical version, either one of those. Grab your planner so you can use that to help you with your daily, your weekly, your monthly tracking, and to help you come up with some sourcing ideas and strategies. So with that being said, we're going to get into our weekly planning session. That is what we are doing today. The topic is, of course, planning. And so we're going to talk about the different ways in which you can plan. I believe yesterday was goal setting, and the day before that was, productivity maybe. Wednesday was time management. So every day during the month of April, we were picking a different topic to focus on before we actually get into the weekly checklist. So we're live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And you can go to the e-commerce planning Facebook group and download the weekly ecom planner checklist, where you can step through the activities that we're about to go through. And I explain why in this session, why you should step through those activities. So, with all that being said, which is a lot to be said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll down before we get into the activities. We're going to talk about a couple of goal setting type of planning activities and why we do that. Inside of this checklist, it actually gives you an actual plan to follow for 2 example, like weekly plan sessions. So, why do we schedule or why do we put together what I refer to as a weekly template? The weekly template is going to give you a guide on what you need to be doing in your e-commerce business every day and every week and every month to move the needle. Because we strongly believe that incremental changes or incremental activities executed over time will help you achieve those goals. Now, the objective is, of course, to execute those activities well. That's the goal. That's always the goal. But sometimes it is going to require us, in order for us to be able to execute it well, is for us to improve on it incrementally over time. And so the different strategies that we employ over just getting better at something over time, because you're not going to be a master at everything. You're not going to be a master at private label. You're not going to be a master at drop shipping. You're not going to be a master at retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. You may stumble through it and you may not execute very well at all initially. But over time, with repetition and focused on the right activities and the right sequence, you will gradually get better in your e-commerce business. You will gradually start to see the numbers that you're hoping to see. You'll gradually see improvements in different areas of your business. Trying to get better at everything all at once will make you crazy. It will. There's no way for you to get better at everything all at once. It is going to take a little bit of focus on a specific thing for a period of time, and then focusing on the next thing for a period of time, focusing on the next thing for a period of time in order for you to get better at things. So, we're going to talk about a couple of different things that you can do to help you to gradually get better at different things over a period of time. So, the first one is mini habits or mini goals. And many habits or many goals are little activities or little behavior, really, but activities that you can execute on a specific targeted area of your business or your life. So I'm going to give you 2 different examples. One's business, one's life. Um, if you decide, I feel like I need to drink more water, period. So I may not be good at it right now, but I can set up a little chart that I can track that shows that I'm at least drinking. Let's start with something easy, something simple, 8 ounces of water. I'll drink at least 8 ounces of water. So the goal at the end of the day is, yeah, we're going to increase the amount of water that we drink, but let's just get consistent about drinking water, period. And that's the goal. I got to get consistent about drinking water. We can talk about gradually increasing the amount of water that I drink, but we're just going to start with let's just get better at drinking water. So we say 8 ounces of water for 2 weeks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to track that because that's something I probably already do and it's easy. So I'm building the habit of consistency around drinking water. Then I can increase it and say, okay, I want to get to 16 ounces of water a day or 24 ounces of water a day, 36 ounces of water a day, and gradually over time implement it or increase it so that way you get to your goal number, whatever that goal number is. If your goal number is 96 ounces of water, you'll get there over time. But first, let's just work on building the habit of just drinking water. The next is let's say you're doing retail arbitrage or you're thrifting or you're doing wholesale or you're drop shipping. So maybe one of the things you don't do well, which is required in order to make money, is create listings. Maybe you're not consistent about creating listings. So let's start with something basic. Let's start with just creating 1 listing a day for 2 weeks. Again, it's about starting with building the simple habit, and then you can gradually increase the amount or the volume that you do. So if I start with, I'm going to create 1 listing a day, every single day, no matter what in my business. Okay, fine. Then the next is in 2 weeks, I'm going to create 5 listings a day, or maybe you jump to 3. And then you go from 3 for 2 weeks to 5 for 2 weeks. and then to 7 for 2 weeks, and then 10 for 2 weeks. At that point, you might actually hit your goal number. I don't know what your goal number is. You know what your ultimate goal number is. But let's build the habit of consistency around listing every day and then gradually increase it over time so that we're consistently listing. Because that's the thing that's going to make you money. Maybe you're not consistent about sending shipments into Amazon, FBA. And so you're random and haphazard about it. So build a habit of consistency of maybe creating, sending one shipment a week, just one. Didn't have to be a bunch of stuff. Maybe it's one box a week of at least 5 items, 5 SKUs. Okay. Then you can gradually increase that over time to something else, to something else, to something else. Now, with shipping being what it is, that may not be the goal that you want to set, reading the cost of shipping, but you get the point. The goal is to at least do something that you know you can actually execute well, or you can at least execute without the stress, without the anxiety, without the fear of failure, and then gradually increase the volume or quantity of that activity over time. The next one is habit stacking. So these are habits, I call them more like routines that you do that maybe you're not doing well, or you need to build a routine around stuff. So you may need to build a routine around listing. Maybe your routine around listing or the sequence of activities that are associated with listing is just so random and haphazard, and you really got to get better at it. You're just really not good right now. So you're going to use habit stacking to help you figure out the logical sequential order in which you should be doing different things and what you can do to improve or increase what those actual activities are. So if I think about listing, creating a listing, and let's say I'm doing thrifting or I'm doing retail arbitrage. One of the first things is that, you got to create the listing as part of this listing activity. So what are all the pieces of creating this listing? Well, I got to know what I'm listing. So I got to have my stuff. I got to probably take pictures, maybe. I don't know. I've got to figure out what the keywords are, what the title is going to be. I got to have a description. I got to know what my price is going to be. I got to have an estimate for my shipping. And I got to do all of that before I can, and I got to figure out what platform I'm going to list on. I got to do all of that to create a listing. Okay. So what is your routine around shipping? What is your routine around, or what are the activities around shipping? What are the activities around figuring out your title? What are the activities around figuring out what the description is going to be? What's your activity around taking the pictures or having the pictures or finding the pictures? What is your activity around just being able to get the things that you bought in and doing something with them? So to break that down even more, what I might do as part of this sequential list of activities is when I'm sourcing, okay, a lot of people, when they go out and they do retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, when they find the item that they're going to put into their shopping cart, they actually click on list from within their Amazon app. If you're selling on Amazon, maybe you're not selling on Amazon, maybe you're selling on another app, and that's fine too. A lot of those apps do have the ability for you to start a draft of a listing, but maybe you start with that. You piggyback on an existing listing, or you may have to create a listing from scratch. So if that's the case, as you're putting things into your cart, you got to be mindful of the fact that this is one of those things I'm going to have to create a listing, period. Okay. The next thing is I buy the item and I'm going through, because I can't piggyback off of a listing. Maybe I'm going to create a bundle or a multi-pack of something. So I've got to do something different than just piggybacking off of an existing listing. Okay. Because maybe the multi-pack does not exist right now anywhere in the universe, and I've got to create it. Okay. So after I buy the item and I come home, I've got it in my bags from the store. I've got my receipt, blah, blah, blah. What you might do is take the opportunity to take the picture of the item right then. Sometimes we can find images for things that we want to sell already online, and we have software that will allow us to replicate that particular listing image. But if you have to take the picture, maybe it's something that does not already have a picture. So you literally have to take the picture. So one of the things you might do is figure out, do I need to go ahead and establish a routine that when I buy things, I take the picture right then when I get home. I don't put it down somewhere in another room that I'm actually not going to be working in. I actually put it in the room that I'm going to be working in, and I put it in the work area that I'm going to be working in. So it's not randomly all over the house and I don't have to hunt it down to find it. That might be something, an area of opportunity for improvement. Okay, so if it's something that I bought, maybe I bought it thrifting, or maybe I actually bought it at the store. But if I bought it thrifting or even at the store, do I need to clean it up before I have to take pictures of it? Do I need to take the stickers off? So I have to prep it for pictures. Okay. And so that's, wiping it down or whatever, getting the wrinkles out of it. I don't know what you're selling. And prepping it for images. Do I go ahead and take the pictures then? Or do I find a pocket of opportunity where I take the pictures at a different time? Some people take them right before they create the listings. They've got a process and a routine around that. And if that works for you and you feel like you've got that streamlined to a point where you can execute that well regularly and quickly, that's fine. But if your item requires a little bit of prep, like take the stickers off before you put it into your tub, your assembly line tub that you're about to work in, that's fine. That's something that you can do to improve that little routine that you're executing. Go ahead and take the stickers off right then. That way it's ready for pictures. Or for some people, they go ahead and take the sticker off, wipe it down, and take the picture right then. Your call on how you want to do it. But make sure as part of this activity that you don't put the item somewhere in another room, because then you have to hunt down all the stuff that you put randomly all over your house or all over your work area, and everything that you need to list should be in one spot. Okay. So then the next thing is figuring out description and title and all that other fun stuff. Again, depending on your method of e-commerce, you might piggyback off of an existing listing, or you may not have the ability to do that. So you got to do maybe a little bit of keyword research, figure out what your keyword is that's going to be in your title, and especially the first 5 to 7 words. And if you're doing a multi-pack, you got to put what's the quantity going to be, and that's going to be part of the title somewhere at the top. And you got to figure out the description. And again, what are the things that people are going to be searching for to find this particular item? How are they searching for it? What platforms are they searching on? Maybe not. What is Google giving you some hints on? Do you use software to do your keyword research? So again, knowing what that routine is on how to do the research that's needed to come up with the title and the description, and what are the keywords. So what is your process? And you can look at that process and break it down. And then figure out where you have areas of opportunity to improve that process. Maybe it's random and haphazard, or maybe it is really clean already. And so we won't touch that routine if it's really clean already. And then figuring out your price and figuring out your shipping. So for me personally, before I even decide I'm going to sell something, I think about shipping first. I think about shipping and I think about the demand. Those are the two things before I even before I even put the thing in my cart. I'm like, how am I going to ship this thing? And what's the potential demand for it? So before I even go down the rabbit hole, figuring out price or determining that I'm going to list something, I need to know how I'm going to ship it. That's just me personally. So I start with the end in mind first, because having to create a box to ship a singular item to a singular customer, or having oversized inventory that I'm shipping into Amazon, which I know they're going to charge me extra for, I'm not going to do that. That's not a strategy I potentially want to take. Now, if you're okay with that, fantastic, go for it. But for me, that's my strategy. I'm not interested in shipping something that's going to be weird to ship. It's oblong, it's wide and flat, it's got a triangle, whatever it happens to be. I'm not interested in doing all that. So you need to decide, again, these are some of the things that may help you to break down that entire process of creating a listing. Because all listings require pictures, they require titles, they require a price, they require a shipping method, they require all of these things, a description and images. So Look at that entire process that you currently execute and figure out where you have opportunities to improve it. What's the best sequential order based on your activities? And what are you doing as you acquire that inventory to make sure that you can help that entire process go a little smoother? Okay. The next one is time blocking. Um, for me, time blocking is the way that I run my business. I block time so that I can focus on one specific activity. That's because I have two kiddos that are on the spectrum. They are teenagers now, but one of them is clearly, he needs a little more attention, a little more support. So, as I'm running my business, blocking out time and him knowing when he can and cannot interrupt me, or teaching him when he can and cannot interrupt me, or when I'm going to be done with my work, is crucial to me actually getting momentum in my business and being productive in my business. So, if you have kiddos, one of the things that may help you along this journey is once you build a schedule, let your kids know when you're actually going to be working in your business. Have a plan for activities that they can do while you're working in your business. If your goal is to work 2 hours in your business after work or 1 hour in your business after work, then have a plan for what your kids are allowed to do or can do. Give them busy activities, give them chores, have them help you in your business, but give them something so that way they either know that they're either part of this process or mommy and daddy are busy and they can't interrupt you during this window. If you don't have kids and you're single, then this doesn't necessarily resonate with you, but you may have a pet, a dog that's really hyper and active. And so you got to figure out, okay, what's one of the things that once I get started working in my business that I get interrupted all the time. I got to take the dog out because the dog is ready to go outside. So figure out your routine around what are the things you can do to ensure that you can commit to that 30 minutes or that 1 hour of time uninterrupted as much as possible. Emergencies don't count. Emergencies do not count, but as uninterrupted as possible. So maybe take out the dog before you get started and build that routine around taking out the dog before you get started. So then the dog begins to build that expectation of, oh, I'm going to go out before blah, 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 before the boss is going to be sitting down for a long period of time, or the boss is going to be going back and forth and taking pictures, whatever it is you've got to do in your business. So they'll start to have that, build that memory around, oh, this feels like the time in which they're doing something. So I'm not going to bother them. But when they put this, close the laptop, and maybe that's the signal, or when they shut the door, and that's the signal, they know this is when I can't bother the boss, whatever the case may be. Same thing with your kids. So with my son over the years, we had an amazing helper who came to our house, and she was just awesome. I love her so much, and I'm so grateful for her. But she would give my boys activity boxes. These are little, you buy the little shoe boxes at the Dollar Tree, and inside of the activity boxes, she'd have like 7 or 8 activity boxes that were in the den and in a player area. And she would give them those activity boxes and say, start with the first one, do the first activity. When you're done, clean it up, put it away, open the second box, do the next activity. When you're done, clean it up, put it away, open the third box. And what that did was, if I needed to work for an hour, I knew that they could get through all 7 activities or 8 activities in 1 hour. They weren't bored. They weren't staring at the wall. They were working towards accomplishing something. Sometimes we would make it a game where we would be like, okay, I bet you I can get through mine before you get through yours. And so it became a challenge. Now that only worked with one of my sons. Now the other one, the one that could kind of go through and challenge me, he would encourage my other son, who was not necessarily focused on sequential activity, and he would try to help him. Hey, pull out box number 2. It's time to work on that one. So in those little boxes, you had everything from a coloring book activity, like maybe 2 sheets from a coloring book with some crayons in there, and put the crayons away when you're done. And then maybe box number 2 had a puzzle in it, and maybe it was a simple puzzle, so that way they felt like there was a sense of accomplishment, especially if your kids have ADD. And if you have ADD, then it's like, okay, you need to give them something where they feel like they can win and they can pay attention. So I'd always find brightly colored puzzles, and they would actually do the puzzles while I was working through my business. I knew exactly how much time it took them to get through that sequence of activities. So again, and then I think like in the third box there was like a Lego activity. In the fourth box there was a little what was it, to put the bears or the monkeys into the bucket or whatever, and so they had to use the little tweezers to do that. So then they got a little bit of OT or occupational therapy in there at the same time. But in any case, if you have kids, giving them something to do in order to get through your 1 hour of activity or 30 minutes of activity will help you along the way. Maybe there's a TV show that comes on after they finish their activities, they can move to the next thing. If you do all 8 boxes or 7 boxes or whatever, then you can now go and watch TV while mommy works or while daddy works. So then you're able to get your 2 hours of, productivity in and be able to focus on your business as much as possible uninterrupted. Now, there's always what I refer to as mommy ears. Mommy ears means that you can sort of sense or hear whether or not the kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you may have to stop from time to time just to look around the corner to see if they're doing stuff and that they're focused on, winning this game that you sort of indirectly set up. But in any case, blocking out that time to be able to focus on your stuff and giving them something to do so that they don't interrupt you helps. One of the other things I used to do in the strategies was I would play music and I would find a song or put together a playlist on YouTube that I could play in the background so that my kids knew when that playlist was over that they can come and ask me questions. They can come and bother me, or mommy's done and she's going to pay attention to us now. Okay. So just trying to balance that in your personal life and making that work for you and your kids so that you can work in your e-commerce business. So those are some of the strategies that I employed. And if you've got some other strategies that you've used, type them in the comments, share them, because there are people out here who are trying to figure out how they can do this e-commerce thing and still care for their kiddos and still make some progress. You could hire the next door neighbor kiddo. If you've got a teenager in your neighborhood or a middle schooler and you trust them, you can hire them to come and watch your kiddos for that period of time and pay them something simple like, I don't know, a box of Twinkies. Not that that's healthy, not that that's good, but you get my point. Doesn't have to be anything expensive, especially if you're not making a lot of money yet. So it can be something simple that the kid loves, or maybe they just want to get out of the house in the first place. So figure out what you can do so that you can focus a specific set amount of time on a specific task. So maybe you're doing 30, if you work in a full-time job, maybe there's 30 minutes of product research and 30 minutes of listing research and 30 minutes of, so maybe 30 minutes of sourcing, sorry, put them in a sequential order. But again, product research, then sourcing, then listing research, and then maybe an hour's worth of listing and then 30 minutes of shipping. And you can figure that out. How much time do I actually need in order to be able to do this? But having focused, dedicated time to execute those activities. Then you have checklist and to-do list. Those are going to help you feel like you gained a sense of accomplishment. It's going to help you sustain the momentum in your business as you check things off every day, every week. You feel like you're gaining momentum in your business. You're increasing or improving your productivity, and you feel like you're getting somewhere. So, checklist and to-do lists are extremely helpful in helping you feel like you're gaining progress in your business. If you're a person that doesn't want to do time blocks, checklist may be where it's at for you. And if you build a checklist, make sure that you try to incorporate all the subtasks that are associated with the big task. So as I went through the activity of listing, there's a whole bunch of subtasks that go with listing. Sub activities. You can just check it off. Makes it feel like you made more progress when it comes to listing. Okay. And then goals, setting SMART goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely or time bound. So specific goals, maybe you have a specific goal around sourcing. You have maybe a specific goal around listing. So listing is a good one to create SMART goals around. because I kind of gave you sort of a little bit of a listing goal before. So when it comes to that listing goal, it's specific. It's specific to listing, but what are we going to be listing? So maybe we need to create listings for Father's Day, or maybe we need to start creating our listing templates for back to school, or we need to create our listing templates for whatever. What am I going to be selling? Okay. Depending on my e-commerce method, what am I going to be selling? Okay. So it's a specific goal. Maybe we're creating listings for Memorial Day, uh, red, white, and blue specifically, because there's a lot of red, white, and blue that's going to happen this year. You got elections this year. You've got Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. All of those are red, white, and blue. And, like I said, local elections, state elections, all of those things. So I'm going to create a goal around sourcing for all of those that are coming up. That could be a thing too as well. But let's go with listing. So I am going to work on creating listings around flags, specifically maybe yard flags, lapel pins, because I want to hit all the red, white, and blue that I can think of. And maybe we'll just start with those two, make it easy. So it's specific around creating listings, and even more specific around flags, red, white, and blue. So it's measurable. What's your goal? What was your goal before? What was your quantity or your volume last year? If you didn't have any volume last year, just create volume this year. So maybe your goal is to create, because there's different flag sizes, just so you guys know. So maybe you want to create 5 different listings. You've got the bigger flags, you've got the yard flags, you've got the little flags that maybe you even have the window clean flag. So you have specific listings. So measurable, maybe you want to create 5 new types of listings, okay? Or 10, whatever. Is it achievable based on the time? If you've said that you want to create this in 1 hour or 2 hours, yeah, it might be achievable. And then relevant or realistic is relevant to what it is that you're doing, e-commerce. And it is realistic to e-commerce. And timely, so when do I want to create those listings? Maybe I want to create those listings in 1 hour, or maybe I want to create those listings, in 1 week. I don't know. So you can set smart goals around the listings, the volume or the quantity of the listings, and allow that to help you move forward in your business. So figure out what your goals are going to be. Maybe you have, maybe you decided you wanted to be $1 million seller, or maybe being $1 million seller is not where it's at for you. Maybe it is more like, I just need to make enough money with extra to be able to keep the lights on and keep water coming out of my faucet, keep a roof over my head. So maybe that number is $6,000 a month in profit, or maybe I need $10,000 a month in profit. And so we're going to go back and we're going to reverse engineer, what is that? So if it's $6,000 a month in profit, take that times 31 days in the month, or divided by, 31 days in a month. So how much is my daily profit that I've got to hit? So what is my daily profit got to be? It's got to be this number in order to get to my 6,000 in profit. Maybe you're shooting to get to $100,000 in profit this year. So I can take that $100,000 and divide that by the remaining number of months in the year, the remaining number of weeks in the year, and the remaining number of days in the year. That's going to give me my daily profit targets, my weekly profit targets, and my monthly profit targets in order to achieve that goal. And we know when we go to Q4, things are different because those numbers are increased or elevated. But that doesn't mean that we can't shoot for these numbers every single week. We know that in Q4, that number of what the volume is really going to be may double, quadruple, or 10x. It could be crazy depending on what you're sourcing and selling and what platform you're selling it on. But again, having a goal that you can work towards doesn't hurt anything. It actually helps you to have something to focus on. So establish that so you'll know where you're going in your business, and then we can go from there. So with that being said, we're getting ready to go through this week's planning session. I hope that was helpful for you on your journey. So my name is Nicole Whitlock. I'm with eCom Sellers, and my passion is helping people to get more organized, more focused, more consistent, more productive in their e-commerce business. If you're a person you're not really sure how to get started, where to get started, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us in the weekly ecom planning session. We also host a monthly ecom planning session the last Sunday of every month. And we host a daily ecom planning session Monday through Friday, and it's at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. So come and join us. We're live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. We're also live on Clubhouse. And eventually, sometime in our life, we'll eventually get live on Instagram. I don't know. The software that we tried to use this week just did not work out in our favor. So we'll get there at some point. But in any case, you're more than welcome to join us. You can download the weekly planning checklist directly from the e-commerce planning Facebook group and step through it to help you on your journey to becoming that $1,000,000 or $100,000 seller, whatever that is for you. Because some people are not working for that. They're working to buy enough money, make enough money to be able to buy a car for their kiddos, or to cover college expenses, or to replace the roof on their house, or it could be any number of things. So they're not always working for that $1,000,000 status. They're working towards a specific focus goal, whatever yours happens to be. Maybe it is to replace your job. I don't know. Now, if you need some help and support along the way, you can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecomsellers.com, clicking on freebies, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. You can also join our Ecom Sellers Academy program, where it's $17.99 a month, or you can pay a one-time fee for the lifetime. There's a lot of different benefits. There's a long list of benefits, but I'll just give you some of the highlights. There's weekly live training sessions. We have those every Tuesday at 8 p.m. So you get fresh training every week. We have live Q&As once a week. You also get 10 retail arbitrage, online arbitrage leads every single week, and you get a wholesale list, 10 of them every single week. In addition to that, of course, you get to join our free Facebook group, and you have access to a series of different training programs, training videos inside of our membership site. So those are some of the highlights. And the last thing is, I want to encourage you to grab the e-commerce planner. The e-commerce planner was created for sellers by sellers to help you on your e-commerce journey. So with that being said, you can grab that at myecomplanner.com right now, so that you can use it to help you be more consistent and more focused and more productive in your e-commerce business. All right. So now we're going to step through the weekly planning checklist. So this document, like I said, can be downloaded. If you're on Clubhouse, you can go directly to the e-commerce planning Facebook group and go download it there. So the first thing on the list is we've got to build our weekly template, okay? Because our goal is to be intentional every day. Incremental improvements implemented over time can reshape your future business. And that's absolutely true. So building this weekly template serves so many purposes. It really does. It's designed to help you have a baseline, a strategy, an approach. It serves the purpose of actually building a schedule simultaneously while setting goals and having an approach to running your business. Versus if you feel like it's random and haphazard, it kind of creates some level of uniformity to your business operations. And so you'll get a rhythm. And over time, you'll tweak it and you'll improve it. And what your goals are today will not be your goals in the future as you continue to grow and scale, as your business evolves. Maybe you start off doing retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, and you graduate or you gradually transition to private label. Some people love retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, and they don't ever stop doing it. And others want to transition to drop shipping, or they want to transition to private label. So your journey now may not be your journey in the future, and the goals you set today may not be the same goals you have for the future, because it's all going to evolve, and that's okay. So we're going to start with building that weekly template, and in order to do that, you can pull up a Google Sheet, and you can go directly to your Google Drive, download or access a Google Sheet, and start with that. as your baseline. You can also populate this information in your weekly planning section of your eCom planner. Okay. So you can go in there and use that section to be able to do this. So we're going to start with a brain dump, and we're going to dump all of the things we currently do in our business. So we're already doing these things. We're not trying to swim up sea. Like we're just not. We're not trying to swim up the river, up the lake, up the whatever. We don't want to be the salmon that have to make things difficult. We want to make as much as we can as easy as possible. So if you already have a process and a rhythm and it's serving you well, we're going to keep those things. So we're going to write down everything we already do in our personal lives and in our business that are routines. Maybe you go to church every Sunday. That's a given. So if that's already serving you well and you want to continue doing that, write it down. I go to church on Sundays at 9 o'clock. Okay. Maybe you already create listings on Sundays or you create listings on Mondays and Tuesdays and you feel like it's serving you well. Then let's continue doing that. Maybe you send your Amazon FBA shipments every Wednesday or every Thursday and it's already something you're doing. We're not changing anything you're doing. Maybe you like going to the thrift stores on Thursdays or, whatever that routine is, write down what you already do. And that includes, like, if you spend time with your kids doing homework with them, you have dedicated, committed time in which you're going to sit down and go over your kids' homework. Your kids have an expectation that you're going to go over their homework at 7 p.m. So this is all not a surprise. Nothing about this is a surprise. Okay. So write down, again, this is a brain dump, all the things you already do. Okay. Then write down the things you need to do in your business. Again, this is a business. So what are those things that you're not doing that you really should be doing? Let's write those down. Again, as part of this brain dump, opening up that Google sheet, and we're going to put all of the stuff that we should be doing into the list. So one of the things that you feel like you should be doing that you're not doing on a regular basis is you don't document what your stats are, your daily stats. Like, I should be writing that down. Maybe you don't create listings every day, or maybe you don't create at least a couple of shipments a week. Maybe you don't have a solution for shipping. You don't want to ship anymore. You want to outsource that. So let's talk about the things you must or need to be doing in your business. Like, everyone should be running their monthly reports to know what their data looks like based on the platform in which they sell on. Okay. Maybe that's not something you're doing right now and you need to put it on your list so you start doing it, because that will help you increase your awareness of where you are in your e-commerce journey. Okay. Then what are the things that you want to do? The things that you feel like you should be doing, you want to start doing in your business. So maybe you want to start spending some time getting better at a specific activity. And maybe you want to get better at doing keyword research. Maybe you want to get better at creating Facebook ads. Maybe you want to get better at, creating Google ads, or maybe you want to get better at, maybe you want to learn how to do drop shipping. Like, I don't know what your business model is. So you got to write down the things you want to do. I want to start doing drop shipping. Okay, write it down. So this is all just a brain dump. It's a long list. Okay, we're not organizing it yet. All of those things that are related to your personal life. So we talk about those things that are spiritual. Maybe every morning you already get up and you meditate, or you read the Bible. Maybe you go for a walk, and that's your opportunity to just get things going. Maybe you currently read a self-help book every day, or listen to a motivational speaker or a podcast in the background while you're getting ready for work. Like, we're not trying to disrupt those things you're already doing. Maybe you exercise. Maybe you go to the gym first thing in the morning, or you go to the gym in the evenings. Maybe you have a routine around when you clean the house. You have a routine on when you grocery shop. We have a routine in our house where we do meal plan. It's always on Saturdays. So that would mean today. And we do meal prepping for the entire week. Now, I say it's always on Saturdays. Look, the last couple of Saturdays, because April is what April is, they were on Sundays, and it sort of messes up the game plan for Sundays. So, our goal is to put it back on Saturday today. And don't beat yourself up when your routine kind of gets a little skewed. There are times and there's seasons in your life where your routine might be a little skewed for a brief period of time. It's going to be okay. All right. So when it comes to your business activities, these are the things that I'm going to say that you should keep in mind. And it doesn't matter what method or approach of e-commerce, like these are things you're doing in your business. So there's a sourcing related activity. And for me, I always work to think about the sourcing related activity in advance, anywhere from 2 to 20 weeks in advance. Okay. And again, depending on your e-commerce method, if you're doing private label and you may be selling a product that you sell year round and it's not an issue, that's great. It's fantastic. If you're not, maybe you're not selling a product that's year round. And so you're sourcing for things that will be coming up. So things that are coming up, you can think about the holidays, you can think about events. It's going to include sporting events, national events, all of those things. Maybe things that are replenishables or consumables for a specific period of time. So I can tell you this year coming up, because people are just done with this pandemic, there's going to be a whole bunch of outdoor activities that people have already started and will continue to do. That includes going camping, going swimming, going to the lake, you know, outdoor activities like badminton and the little ring toss and the other types of toss activities, like all of those. Um, I cannot think of what it is right now for some reason. It's a little bean bag with you toss in the hole. I know what the name of it is. For some reason, the words are not coming to me. But anyway, I think you get the idea. People are going to be going on picnics or being outside. There's going to be, canopies. Maybe people will set them up and they will maybe have outdoor events. Lots of people that are in the event planning space right now are just going to be slammed with weddings and family reunions, things that people didn't do over the years, over the last couple of years. And this year they're like, we're doing it. Forget it. We're doing it this year. So think about those types of things to be selling. Now, I'm not saying that, like, I don't know what your e-commerce method is. If you got a method to your routine, your madness, your process, do that. But again, for those people that are struggling, like, I'm giving you some hints that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be outdoor related. People want to be outside. They want to get together. They want to congregate. They want to have backyard parties. There's going to be people getting together for Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July weekend and Labor Day weekend. Like, they're going to be getting together. People are getting together. There will probably be more family reunions this year than there have been in a long time. The hotel industry, I think, is going to pick up. That's just a personal opinion of mine. But when you think about all these activities, like, okay, people are going to be buying a lot of paper plates, disposable plates, a lot of trash bags, a lot of plastic forks, cups, spoons, that kind of stuff. Like, these are things that people are going to buy. And so when it comes to replenishables, like, they got to, once you run out, you got to buy some more if you're going to have another event. So again, stuff like that. And depending on whether you're selling B2B or B2C, that is your call as to how you're going to source that. And that would be something like, for me, strategically, I would have thought about that like in December or January and be sourcing for that now. But that doesn't mean it's too late to source for that stuff, because this window of opportunity is going to continue to be available to us at least until October, depending on where you are in the US. If you're in Texas, like, it'll be available to you all the way through the end of the year, because we really don't have seasons. But in any case, you get my idea. Like, people are going to be getting together for Thanksgiving and they hadn't gotten together in a while. So when you think through sourcing is related activity that you're going to be engaged in. And it doesn't matter what method of e-commerce that you're doing. You're going to be doing sourcing activities. And that includes private label and white label. Like, if you're a person that you identify different private label opportunities, then of course you're going to engage in private label activities, and you're going to find a few different private label products that you're going to be selling over the next couple of weeks or months. Next is sourcing. So this should be on your list. Like, sourcing activities should be on your list, period. And these are things you should be doing in your business. So just keep that in mind. It is an actual activity. And it may vary. It will vary, not may. Then there's research activities. So research can include product research, listing research, keyword research, and all kinds of other research. Okay. So, maybe you found a provider you have a product that's going to be a variation. You've got it in green and blue, and you need to find it in red and yellow. Okay. sourcing for that specific product with a different supplier because your supplier only has it in green and blue, whatever that happens to be. So this is an activity that all sellers, regardless of what method of e-commerce they're doing, you're going to engage in a sourcing activity. And that includes print on demand. Like, who are you going to use that you're going to use for supplying your specific product? Then you have listing activities. I've gone through listing activities, but again, that's, everything from the images to the price to the description to the title. Are you cross listing on multiple platforms? Are you multi-channel listing from Amazon to Walmart? Like, what are you doing? What's your process? What's your method? Or maybe that's something you want to start doing. Maybe you're only listing on one platform right now. Maybe that's all you're doing, and you really want to start listing on other platforms. Okay. Maybe you want to start creating marketing videos or videos that will go on the platform in which you are selling on. So videos don't necessarily mean you're going outside and like maybe the thing you sell is a frisbee, so you got to record yourself or throwing the frisbee to a dog, blah blah blah. No, 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 or to your kids. This can mean taking a still image and animating it in such a way that it becomes a short GIF or it becomes a video. Okay. All right. So then the next thing on the list, so there's listing activities that you should be doing in your business on a regular basis. The next is shipping related activities. If you are shipping yourself, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe this is the year in which you decide, I want to outsource shipping because I don't want to do it anymore. Or maybe you want to figure out how you can improve your shipping process. Again, but there is a shipping component to your business. Whether you're shipping it into a fulfillment center or 3PL, whether you are shipping it yourself, you're sending it into FBA, WFS, if you're doing Walmart, and then if you're drop shipping, maybe you've got an integration in place. So it automatically sends the items. You got to have some level of a shipping activity that you're engaging in on a weekly basis where you're confirming or auditing that to confirm that the shipment actually went out. You got to check something. And maybe it's something that you hand over to your VA just to confirm the shipments went out. Like we had 10 orders. The 10 orders, does the system show that 10 orders got shipped out? Do we have 10 different addresses that we show in the back office that the items were shipped? Confirmations, that kind of stuff. So it's still a component of your business. The next one is administrative activities, and everyone has these. And these are things that you should be doing at least once a week, and some of them once a month. Just depends. Like some of them you can do every day. I'm not saying you only have to do them once a week. Some of them make sense to do every day. Some are weekly and some are monthly. But again, if you're not engaging in these activities, maybe you put this under your should column or your need to do column. Like these are things I need to be doing in my business because I'm working to move the needle in my business. So running your platform reports, filing your taxes, doing your bank reconciliation, you're balancing your budget, tracking your expenses, your receipts, order inventory, checking for expiration dates, auditing inventory, creating standard operating procedures so you can outsource aspects of your business to a VA. I mean, yeah, that's something you should be doing. We're reviewing and adjusting prices. I mean, there's different software that can help you with some of this stuff. There's software for listing. There's software for doing some of the things around repricing or things you can do with like QuickBooks for some of your accounting and reconciliation. I'm not saying these are things that you have to do manually. What I'm saying is there's this activity exists somewhere in your business, whether you are or are not doing it. Maybe you should be doing it and you're not. So we're going to put it on a schedule so you can start doing it. Okay. Customer service related activity around handling questions, reviews, returns, refunds, the 3 R's and the 1Q. So again, that's an activity that you're engaging in your business. Education related activities. I think this is an unsung opportunity for people that either want to transition to a different method of e-commerce or they want to improve their existing. You should have a time block or you should have dedicated time where you're working on getting better at something every week, or you're getting better at understanding something better. Maybe you don't understand your back office reports that well. Maybe you don't even know where to find them. Or it's a skill you need to develop. So, creating Google ads or creating Facebook ads, maybe it's a skill you need to develop. And then there should be some level of a traffic or a marketing related activity that's happening in your business every week. So if you don't have any money, that's fine. There are different ways in which to increase the traffic to your listings. Okay. So, you can run your listings through Ping Farm. You can share them on different platforms. You can maybe start a blog or find a blogger or an influencer that you can work with. I mean, there's so many different opportunities for you to increase your exposure to your specific product or products that you're selling and to get more eyeballs on the listings organically. And then there are paid opportunities. So if you have a list of your customers, email marketing, video marketing, extremely important, depending on what you're selling. So some of these strategies may or may not make sense. Like if you're doing retail arbitrage and you're selling a variety of different products, or maybe you're focused on a specific area of retail arbitrage. Maybe you're doing automotive or you're doing baby or something like that. So sometimes those things make sense. And if you're doing a variety of different things, you got to figure out, what can I do to try and get more eyeballs on my listings? So these are activities that you're executing in your business. You're doing a brain dump of those activities. And that is the first part of this journey. After you do the brain dump, then we're going to organize it by each day. So remember, we have personal stuff on here too. So, of the personal stuff, like, am I creating listings every single day or not? If I am, or if you are already creating listings on certain days, maybe you create listings Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you do shipments Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Then, if that's currently what you're doing, that's great. But if that's not what you're currently doing, and you feel like, okay, in this doing this brain dump of when I do these things, like, maybe I should start doing them, on Tuesdays, or maybe I should do them every single day. So organize the brain dump by each day, which day makes sense to do these things. Trying to put everything on one day is not going to work out for you. Like, you're not going to have a sense of accomplishment. You're not going to get through that. So we have to be realistic as we're building this schedule out, so that we can build a schedule that works that's realistic and that works for our life. So if you have a full-time job and you're only able to do listings, 3 days a week, then it is what it is. And you're going to optimize that window where you have the opportunity to create listings. If you have a full-time job and you can only do shipments twice a week, again, you're going to optimize, make sure that you're the most efficient when you're engaging in those shipping related activities. Creating your own personal shipping station in your house if you're shipping directly yourself, so that everything is organized. Your tape is all in one place. Your boxes or your bags are all in one place, so that you're not going all over the house hunting to be able to send out this one shipment. Okay, so then the next thing is, as we think about this brain dump that we're building, since we've dumped morning, afternoon, and evening, now we're going to we dumped which day of the week we're doing the activity. Now let's break down what we're doing in the mornings, the afternoons, and then the evenings for those days. So now you have an outline for Mondays. What are the things you're going to do Monday morning, or you should be doing Monday morning, Monday afternoon, and Monday evening? Again, if you're working a full-time job, incorporate that into this schedule, this template that you're building. If you are time bound, like you like time blocks, then use that as your source instead. And the next one is review your goals or checklists and to define your weekly activities. So we kind of went through goals first. We went through and talked about mini habits, mini goals, habit stacking, time blocks, setting SMART goals and to-do lists. We're going to incorporate that into it. So your routine, your morning routine or evening routine with your kids, your routine around listing, your routine around shipping. Again, there are activities that you're doing. Are you making your listing routine more complicated than it needs to be, or can you make it more efficient so you can gain back time? Because one of the biggest things that when I'm talking to people and I'm coaching them, they always say, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. Well, maybe you do have time, but you're maybe not using the time that you have as efficiently as you could. And that's entirely possible. And then it's also possible that you have one of the craziest schedules in the world. I think when I first started on this journey, people would tell me, like, you have a super insane, crazy schedule. Like, it is bananas. And it was. Like, I was never not doing anything. Is that sustainable long term? No, not realistic. No, it's not really. It's not realistic. So I had to have pockets or buffers where I was not 100%
Right, right.
distracted. Uh, I was not 100% distracted the entire time. So that's one of the things that I had to do was to get better at building my schedule, to get more efficient at engaging in the activities, and to make sure that I allowed myself some breathing room in my schedule because there was no breathing room. Okay. So building a schedule is one thing, but making sure that you don't drive yourself bananas is the other. You can actually create unnecessarily stress and anxiety by building a schedule that's way too aggressive. Look, when you have kids, the unknown is going to happen. Murphy is going to show out in your life in unexpected ways and in unexpected times. So you need to have a little bit of a buffer. So in my time blocks, I had to learn over time that there are times in which I need to just say this time block is not really a time block of an hour. It's really a time, maybe it's not a time block of 30 minutes. It's a time block of an hour. And of this hour, I may actually only be able to do something for 30 minutes because this is the window in which my kids are most active or most rambunctious or most distracted or most whatever. And it's okay. It was just part of my process, as a single parent, because I didn't have another set of hands to help me. So going through that process and looking at your schedule and working to build a schedule that works for you, that's not going to make you anxious or have anxiety around it, that's realistic based on how things are working in your business naturally. Again, the things you already do, the things you want to do, and the things you need to do are the two things that you need to fold into that existing schedule. Fold it in, just like cooking, like baking, kneading bread, like you got to fold it in. So fold it into your life. So as you begin that process, as we're starting the process of building out or finishing building out this template, we're thinking through everything that we're already doing or need to be doing in our business. Now we sort of have got a plan, and that template may flow in the form of time blocks for Saturday through Sunday through Saturday, or it may flow in the form of morning, afternoon, evening checklists or activities, and that's fine. You'll eventually evolve. Like I said, as your business grows, you won't do the same things. So your business will grow, you will grow, and you will do different things, or you'll get better at things. You'll find areas of opportunity to improve what you're already doing. So any template that you build, I would encourage you to keep it for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Keep it for 2 to 3 weeks because you need to execute it for a little bit. As Ted Lasso would say, we're going to try this on and walk around in it and see how we like it. So we're going to try it for a brief period of time to follow the template, follow the outline. Again, we're working to build momentum and consistency in our business, and having a daily path of what to do is going to help us get there. The daily action plan of activities that will actually improve the business is what we're looking to do. All right. So we're going to try it out for a couple of weeks and see how it goes. So after you've built your template, then now you can build your actual. And this is the part that I love. The actual, after you build the template, like I have, I think 5 templates for the year. I have the template for when the kids are out of school. School is about to be out for some of us. We've only got 3 weeks, and then the multiverse of madness kicks in. No. That means having your kids at home and being 100% nonstop distractions. Okay. But we're at that place where I have a summer routine, and then I also have an in-school routine, and I have a routine for, a template for when my son is in track, when track is happening, because my son runs track. One of my kiddos does, and so I have a plan and a template for different seasons. I have one that's for Q4 and I have one that's for post Q4. So again, working through all of that, different templates serve different needs at different times in my business. And so the first one that you start off with may not be the one you keep forever. Okay. But it will help you build your weekly schedule much faster. So when you pull out your template, now it's just plug and play. It's plug and play. I'm plugging in the actual what's. So before I plug in the what, because I have to think about what I'm doing each week, I'm going to take a glance at or eyeball my monthly plan. Now, my monthly plan, the month that's coming up is May. I actually wrote out those activities, those goals for the month of May. So maybe you have goals around specific items that you're sourcing. Maybe you have specific goals around the listings that you want to make sure are active. Maybe you have goals around the volume in which you're going to be listing. Like, okay, my goal is blah, blah, blah. So maybe it's to create 1,000 listings this month, or maybe it's to send 2,000 items into Amazon FBA. Like, I don't know what your goals are. But when you put together your monthly plan, you set your goals for whatever it is for the month that your targets. And so if my goal is to create 1,000 listings, I've got to divide that by 4. Technically in the month of May, it's almost 5, just because it's 31 days in the month, but divided by 4.5 so that I know what my goals are for every single week. This is the number of listings I need to create every single week in order to hit that 1,000 listings in a month. See how that works? Same thing. So I'm going to look at those monthly goals and figure out how that incorporates into this week. So we're going into the first full week of May. The first full week of May. As you go through the first week and the second week and the third week and the fourth week, every single week in the month of May, you should have some goals from your monthly goal list that are getting incorporated into or folded into your weekly activities. Every single week, there should be something from your monthly goals that's going into your weekly activities. That's how you get through your entire checklist for the month. So in order for me to get through the checklist for the month of May, I got to be going back to all the time, what's my objective for the month of May? In order for me to get through my checklist for the week, I got to go back to what's the objective when I build out my actual, okay? The next thing is, what are the priorities for this week? So based on those monthly goals, what's the priority for this week? So the first full week in May, my priorities are administrative stuff. So that first week, I always have more administrative stuff that I do because, again, I'm closing out April. I'm preparing and setting myself up for the start of May. I'm knocking out all those things. So that first Sunday or that first Monday, I may be spending more time on administrative stuff, closing out the month of May, so that way I can focus on the other activities for the rest of the month to help me stay on track for my goals. Yours may be something completely different. So establish or define what your priorities are for the week. The first full week in May, what are the big ticket items that you need to make sure that you're doing, that you're knocking out? So if you haven't already sourced for Prime Day, that would be probably one of the things that I would put on the priority for the first week in May. I'd also put as a priority for the first week in May, like running my platform reports and maybe ordering inventory that first week in May, the inventory I'm going to need for the month of May. So if you've already got inventory that you've sold historically over the years, you probably already have your supplier. You already know when you normally order it, and maybe this is the week in which you order it. So you've got that. The other thing is, maybe the week of May, I'm starting the process of putting together the bundles that I'm going to sell for back to school. Because the irony is, as soon as kids are out of school, wherever, because the school schedule is just insane across the U.S. And maybe you're not just selling in the U.S., maybe you're selling in other countries, but the school schedule is bananas. So if the school schedule is bananas, I need to be prepared for those kids that are going to be getting emails from their school at the end of June. So I need to make sure I already have my inventory. I probably was already thinking about it in April, and I was probably also thinking about it in March. So it depends on what your strategy and your approach is. So figure out your priorities and also your priorities for yourself. So for me, April was a crazy month because it's Autism Awareness Month. It's the month in which our nonprofit engages in Easter activities. It's also the month in which my children have their IEPs, individual education plans. And so I have to go through and do a bunch of stuff that is not related to what I normally do in any other month. And so it's a heavy month for me. Whereas when I go into May, like now I can refocus back to what I'm used to. So my priorities for the month of April were not always business related, and it's okay. Your priorities may not be business related every single week. Like you may have 5 priorities, and 3 of them are personal. Like, okay, prepare the kids for summer camp. Like, order the kids backpacks and sleeping bags for summer camp, because again, you don't want to be stressed about stuff. You're trying to reduce the stress in your life and actually to be more organized about the things that are coming up. So maybe that's one of the things you put down. So be thinking about a couple of weeks in advance. What are those things that are going to simplify your life and reduce your stress, instead of then you're living in reactionary mode. You're reacting to the fact that you need a sleeping bag tomorrow versus, I probably could have ordered that the first week in May, so that way when the kids are out of school in 3 weeks and they got to go to their first summer camp, I'm not freaking out because I don't have a tent and I don't have a sleeping bag. So do those things now. Put that on the list. So establish your priorities for the week, and then also figure out which habits you want to track. So what are those habits that you want to track in your life and in your business? Maybe you, again, drinking water. Maybe that's one of your habits. Walking more. Maybe that's one of the habits you want to build. Maybe creating listings more consistently. Maybe that's one of the habits you want to build. Now, when you build a habit, or when you're working on your habit list for the week, it is not one singular, it's not a thing that you're only doing for 1 week. Okay. It is something that you're doing for 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days. So in your habits that you're going to establish for the month of May, don't just think about them at a week at a time. Think about them for the entire month of May. What are those things that I'm going to be doing in my life for the entire month of May that I really want to build some habits or some consistency around? If it's listings, if it's sourcing, if it's shipping, if it's doing admin work, if it's education, whatever that is, put those things down. Things that you want to start doing more consistently on a regular basis, where you can implement them incrementally over time and get better at it and begin the process of just building the habit around it in the first place. So don't think weekly in this sense, think 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then now we get into, now that we've thought about the monthly plan, we thought about the priorities for the upcoming week, and we thought about the habits that we're working to track or going to start tracking in the month of May. Now let's get into the actuals. This is where we fill in the what. The what is so important. So as I mentioned before, I was like, okay, back to school, I mentioned that. Prime Day, I mentioned that. Selling flags, that was very specific. So the what is where you have the opportunity to be specific. The what is where you gather all the information and you from your monthly planning session to say, around this time last year, my sales around flags started going up around this time period. So I need to be sourcing my flags earlier because I know that the demand is going to be high. And I don't want to be one of those people that I had to have 7 different suppliers for flags, and 2 of them were shady or suspect. Like, make sure that I thought through this. So that's why we say the what is the next thing on the agenda. So what am I going to be sourcing? What am I doing product research on? What? So if you don't have a strategic plan for the next several weeks, this is where you have the opportunity to think about that. What are those products I'm going to be selling? If I'm selling a private label product, are there any other products that would be complementary to my private label product in the coming month of May? If there are, let's make a note of those things. What am I going to be shipping and where am I going to be shipping it? Is this the month that I'm outsourcing to a supplier? So I'm going to actually step out even further in this vision. When I think about the what, and I'm working to be intentional on that what, I always keep Q4 in mind. I'm going to be executing things now in the month of May, June, July, and August that I am not going to be implementing new in September, October, November, December. I refuse to implement anything new in those 4 months. So whatever I'm going to do that I'm working to get better at, I'm going to work on getting better at those things in May, June, July, and August. So if I am working to outsource to a VA or I'm working to outsource to a fulfillment center, I need to be working on that in May, June, July, and August. I need everything to be settled by the time we go into September so that we are ready to coast through October, because October, November, December is all about increased volume. May, June, July, August is all about getting better at stuff, getting more efficient, getting more streamlined, getting more consistent, knowing my numbers better every single week. So that's why I'm saying the what is so important in the things that you focus on for the what during May, and then also thinking about June, July, and August. So an example is one of the things on here is what do I want to learn or execute for my education plan? So in the month of May, maybe the first week in May, in my education window, because I have education on my agenda. It's not general or vague. I got to be specific here. So I want to get better at Facebook ads. So maybe I spend the first week in May, the second week in May, the third week in May, the fourth week in May, getting better at Facebook ads. Every single week, I am intentional about spending at least 1 hour, maybe it's 2 hours, on Facebook ads. And I'm going to use that knowledge that I learned that week, and I'm going to implement it into the week when I get to the other stuff that I'm doing in my week. When I'm thinking about, creating listings or doing shipping and doing my marketing, I'm learning on, hypothetically, I'm learning on Sunday and I'm executing it in my business Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Because sometimes people buy training and they don't ever do anything with it. Or sometimes people learn a skill and they never incorporate it into their life or into their business. And my goal is for you to not do that. I need you to implement what you learn. So in this example of Facebook ads, if I get better at Facebook ads in May, what does that do to my Q4? So then in June, maybe it's Google ads. So I spend the first week in June, second week, third week, fourth week in June, getting better at Google ads. And every single week, I'm executing what I learned into my weekly activities. What's going to happen to my e-commerce business when it comes to Q4 if now I spent the month of May getting better at Facebook ads and I spent the month of June getting better at Google ads? What does that do to my business for Q4? So then in July, again, you see what I'm doing here. Maybe you're not really good at creating animated stills, videos of your products. So maybe you're not good at that. So maybe in the month of July, I spend the month learning that. So if you're a person that bought some training and you've never found the time to be able to learn or go through it, then this is your window of opportunity to spend that month of spending the month of May going through those Facebook ads trainings that you bought, however many you bought, or if it's only one, go through it and go through it again and again and again and again and again until you got it. Okay, so if you've got an hour every week or 2 hours every week, invest that time in focused, committed activity that's going to help you get better. So maybe you're not good at keyword research. So this is where I have the opportunity. If my education, I'm going to be focusing on keyword research. I spend the entire month of May, every single week, getting better at keyword research and then implementing it into my business as I create new listings throughout the week. So I hope that you see the what is so important. If you have the template that says every Sunday I'm going to sit down and I'm going to spend an hour on education, and every Monday I'm going to sit down and spend an hour on education. Now I'm going to implement everything I learned on Sunday and Monday. I'm going to implement it in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That is going to improve your business over time. It's going to improve your performance in your business over time. It's going to help you to become a better seller over time. See, the thing about sellers that get to the $1 million status and get beyond the $1 million status is that they learn from their mistakes. They figure out where their shortcomings are, and they put together a plan to get better at things over time. They get better at them. They also build a schedule that they follow and a routine that they've built so that they can actually have a life outside of their e-commerce business. And so if you have not gotten to that place, this is your opportunity to do that. So looking at the what are you going to be listing? What are you going to be shipping? Or are you shipping, or your fulfillment center? Like, are you shipping the stuff for Prime Day? Are you shipping that stuff in May? I mean, I hope you're not waiting until June. You should be shipping that stuff in May because, again, they haven't announced when Prime Day is going to happen. I'm just telling you. I don't have any inside scoop. I'm just, the streets are talking, and we believe it's going to be the second week in July. So don't be surprised by it. Prepare for it. Plan for it. Because when Prime Day is announced, whenever they announce it, all the other platforms, every single online store everywhere is going to have some kind of promotion or deal. Because the thing about Prime Day is it causes all of the platforms to get a lot of traffic and a lot of traction. So don't be surprised for it. Plan for it. Okay. So when I say the what are you shipping? I'm shipping my stuff into Amazon FBA for Prime Day, or I'm shipping my stuff into WFS for Prime Day. Because even if Walmart doesn't have an actual Prime Day, they're going to have some version of something. And I want to get some sales. So what are the things that people are potentially going to be buying? It's Christmas in July. Go look at the history. Go see what the promotions were for the last 5 years, and go see what they were. What were the things that sold during this window? And make sure you have already ordered that inventory. This is where your what comes in. So you use your template to fill in the what. All right. Now, if you're getting value in this, let me just say this. If you're getting value in this conversation, I just want to encourage you, share it out, let a friend know. Somebody somewhere wants to get better at their game in their e-commerce business. And invite them to come to the weekly planning session, or the monthly planning session, or the daily planning session. Because again, it's all about getting better at what we do in our e-commerce business, regardless of platform, regardless of method, regardless of any of that. There's some basics that all of us do. All right. So we're going to take the template and we're going to use that to build the actual. And what are the things we're going to be focusing on and executing this week that's coming up? Because it's all the little things over time. This week, week 1 of May. Then you're going to do this again for week 2 of May, week 3 of May, week 4 of May, and then sort of quasi-semi week 5 of May. So it'll feel like we have 5 weeks in May. We almost have 5. Almost. A couple of days shy of 5. But in any case, use this to help you on your e-commerce journey. Use this to help you build that actual week. So go build your template first, and then go fill in the blanks on the what. Everything. What are those things? Make sure you're also looking at your weekly online calendars as well. So as you look at your weekly online calendar, use that to help you fill in your what for this week. Okay. So now we're going to get into, you're going to also use this weekly calendar to help you with your daily activity. So we have this daily activity that we do. And so you're going to extract the information from your weekly calendar and put it into your daily activities. Again, all of it builds into a schedule, something that you can follow, build momentum around. All right. So hopefully this is helpful. I am going to show you an example schedule here in a second. But before I do that, I got to reset the room. So again, this is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. We are live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. We're also live on Clubhouse. This is our weekly e-commerce planning session where we are putting together our plan and our strategy and our approach about being intentional in our e-commerce business. If this resonates with you and you feel like, hey, I could use this to help me to be more organized, definitely share this out. Let a friend know about it. Otherwise, if you feel like you need some help, you need a cheerleader, you need an accountability partner, then you can join us in the weekly e-com planning session, our daily e-com planning session, in the e-commerce planning Facebook group and also in Clubhouse. So put it on your calendar. Come back and hang out with us. You can download the weekly checklist and also the daily checklist and the monthly checklist directly from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And I'm going to encourage you to get the e-commerce planner, because this is where you can document this entire journey, this entire plan. You can put everything that I've talked about inside that e-commerce planner. You can put down what your daily activity is, your daily schedule, your weekly activity, your weekly schedule, your weekly priorities, your monthly, all of that goes into the ecom planner. The planner was created for sellers by sellers, and you can grab it directly at myecomplanner.com. In addition to that, if you feel like you need some support on your journey, maybe this is the year that you want to get better at some specific things, join eCom Sellers Academy. You can go there at ecomsellersacademy.com. It's $17.99 a month. We offer 10 retail arbitrage leads. We also offer 10 wholesale leads. You can join us there. We have live weekly training. You gain access to a training membership site that has over 200 training videos. Don't sit there and watch all of them. That does not serve your business well, okay? You got to be focused and strategic on what you're going to watch. And you can join our private e-commerce planning, eCom Sellers Academy Facebook group. So if you need to schedule some time with me, you can go to ecomsellers.com, schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. I'd be happy to talk to you about your plan and your strategy. So now, or help you put one together, develop one. So now we're going to look at this plan that exists, that I put in here as a template. So I don't know. I'm going to minimize a little bit, and I'm going to make this a little bit of a fuller screen and hide this. So I have two different example templates. One of them is a person that's working a 9 to 5, and the second one is a person that is a stay-at-home mom. So either one of these, I'm like, this may not even be you. You may be a truck driver. You might be a person that doesn't have a job at all and you're retired. Build your own schedule. Okay. This is just me giving you a visual of what your template could sort of look like, or the components, the structure of a schedule. So Monday, in the first person that works, I don't even know if that's a real word. So the person that works Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, they're doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, and drop shipping. That's what they're doing in their business. So in this example, Monday through Friday, they pretty much have a very similar schedule Monday through Friday. Okay. So we'll come back and we'll talk about the inside of the schedule. The inside, if you're going to think about it as a sandwich, like the bread is on the outside, that's Sunday and Saturday, and then the meat is in the middle, which is Monday through Friday. Maybe it's the opposite for you. Maybe you do more stuff on the weekends than you do on the weekdays. But in any case, so I'm gonna talk about Saturday and Sunday first, and then we'll go into Monday through Friday. So in this example, on Saturday and Sunday morning, this person is getting up and doing some planning for their business for the week. That's good. It's in there. This is a time block type of schedule. So since it's time block at 7 a.m., they're getting up and they're doing some planning in their business at 7 o'clock. At 8 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, they are working with their VAs or putting together the list of the things that they want their VA to do, or checking what their VA is supposed to have done for the week. One or the other. In this example, mock schedule. This is not my schedule. This is just a mock schedule. Okay. On Saturday, they also have a little bit of a shipping related activity. Maybe they're dropping stuff off at FedEx, UPS, USPS, and on Sunday they're doing some listings. So again, they're engaging in a listing related activity. Okay. The next thing is on Saturday, they got a couple of hours from 9 to 10 kids sports. Maybe their kids are in soccer or tennis. From 11 to 12 on Saturday, they're going out and doing their groceries. So they're incorporating their personal life into this schedule. So I got to go get groceries. And if I normally already go get groceries at that time, this is perfect. So since we're already out and about, hypothetically, I'm going to go to the grocery store while we're already out and about. Maybe that's how this works for this person. Or it could be that they're like, look, I'm just going to order the groceries while I'm sitting here at the game, because maybe they need to be a little more efficient. So they order the groceries so that the groceries are delivered to the house, by 12 o'clock. I don't know. Now, I don't know where you live. If you can get your groceries that fast, like where I live, I could order groceries and have them delivered within 4 hours or so. So that's realistic for me. But if that's not realistic for you, then you figure out what works for you. This is just a hypothetical mock schedule. Then from 1 to 2 on Saturday, they're cleaning their house. They're doing laundry. I got to prep for this week in this scenario. And then from 3, 4, and 5, they are sourcing in their business. So You could swap that around and say that for 1, 2, and 3, they're sourcing for their business, and then they get home and they're home for the day. Any of that works. It doesn't really matter. You just swap it around. But if they're doing retail arbitrage, they're going out on Saturday from 3, 4, and 5, and they're doing some retail arbitrage. At 6, they're coming in and they're doing some listing. At 7, they're having dinner with their family, and they're spending family time together from 8 and 9. And then they put the kids down, and at 10 o'clock, they're working in their e-commerce business. At 11, they're working in their business to engage in administrative activities. And then at 12 o'clock, they're going to bed. So that's Saturday in this example. And again, they're outsourcing for 3 hours, and they're creating listings for 1 hour. And then after the kids go to bed, they're engaging in administrative activities. That's just the template. On Sunday, after we talked about listing, because that listing could continue, since they started listing on Saturday at 6, that listing can continue at 8 o'clock in the morning. On Sunday for a little bit, maybe it's 30 minutes. Maybe it's 30 minutes of spending time with the VA and 30 minutes of listing activity. Again, you're going to build your own template, whatever works for you. Then Sunday, they are going to church, 9, 10, and 11. From 12, 1, 2, they are spending family time. So again, they're making intentional decisions to spend time with the family. Then from 3, 4, and 5, they're engaging in shipping related activities. So maybe this person is sending in their shipments directly to WFS, or they're sending in their shipments directly into Amazon. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Okay. Then, or maybe they're fulfilling orders that came in on Saturday and Friday. So that could be it too. Then from 6 to 7, they're prepping their household for the week. So that could be anything from fixing lunches early, like, we do this on Saturdays. We fill the chip bags. We go ahead and, get our apples and oranges already washed and ready for the lunch pail. We wipe out the lunch pails because if you got kids, you wipe out the lunch pail. Clean the water bottles, all that other fun stuff. And then we also do our meal prep. So maybe this is when that person does meal prep for the week. You could be prepping an actual meal or putting some stuff in the crock pot or the Instapot, whatever. Or you could just be laying the foundation for what am I going to cook this week? I don't know. But we do meal prep because I'm not trying to be in the kitchen all week. I'm just telling you that's really what we do, and we do it on Saturday. Then at 8 o'clock, in this example, on Sunday, they're doing some level of weekly prep for their business. That could be changed out to something else. It could be admin. It could be education. It could be something else. It could be that they are figuring out, since they work a full-time job, where am I going to do some sourcing this week? So maybe I will tell you, this is the reason why I put this on here, is on Sundays, I would strategically figure out what am I going to sell based on the history of the stuff that I'd previously sold, because I've been selling online since 2014. I would literally get all the flyers out and I would see what was in the flyers so that I would know what it was, that based on the industry research that had already been done, because stuff is not in the flyers by accident. This is not a sale or promotion by accident. They knew at least 18 to 6 months ago, 18 months to 6 months ago, they knew exactly what was going to be on sale this week intentionally on purpose. They did. So this is where you have the opportunity to learn from the patterns, even if you don't have access to that level of data. They know that people are going to be buying XYZ type of things this week. So when I'm trying to get those quick hits and those quick sales, or those things where I can flip it and sell it later, I would go through the flyers and go see what's up. What are the promotions? What are the ads? What are the this? What are the that? That's what I would do. So again, this is an opportunity for you to maybe, in this example, figure that out for yourself and be intentional about what are the things we're going to be sourcing, what are the things we're going to be doing product research on. Because people aren't buying things by accident. They're not putting these things on sale by accident. There is a pattern that's already been established, some research and analysis that's already been done by people who run these big, giant $1 million, $1 billion businesses. So there's a reason why it's there on sale. Use that to your advantage. It's free information. There you go. So then 9 o'clock, spending some time on education related activities. So again, we already talked about that. And then admin. So in this example, this person's engaging in administrative activities 2 hours this week in this example. Then Monday through Friday, their morning routine is pretty much the same. Monday through Friday, they get up, they meditate. So maybe they're doing 15 minutes of meditation, 40 minutes of exercise. Okay, fine. Then at 8 o'clock, they're like getting the kids out the door. Like, bye, I love you, goodbye. So, in order for you to be able to do that, you got to get your kids on autopilot as much as you can. So, this may be an opportunity for you to step back and look at your morning routine. And if you are heavily involved in your kids' morning routine, or you are heavily involved in your kids' nighttime routine, that may be an opportunity to fix so that you spend less time in your kids' morning routine and less time in your kids' afternoon routine, because that's time you buy back for yourself. If you invest the time now, you get that time back and you can invest that extra time in something else. So if you're spending an hour getting your kids ready in the morning, you got to figure out how you can get that down to 15 or 20 minutes so you can get 40 minutes back to yourself. You got to figure that out. So again, going through that whole habit stacking and going through that routine and figuring out where your holes are, where you have opportunities to improve it, that's where you're going to really gain efficiencies. All right. So, and then they're prepping for work, they're planning for their day. So if they're doing the 10-minute planning routine or 5-minute planning routine, like visualizing their schedule for the day, then that's what they're doing at 8 o'clock. Then, then Monday through Friday from 9 until 1, they're working their job. And then at 1 o'clock, they've got this hour break. That's their lunch break. And so of that hour, I'm not saying they're spending all this time doing this, but of that hour, maybe they're spending 30 minutes Monday, Wednesday, Friday doing product research or listing research. And Tuesday and Thursday, they're engaging in sourcing. It could be online sourcing, or it could be there's a strip mall nearby and I'm going to go do some physical sourcing, whatever it happens to be. But again, it is them spending that time. So they still have time to eat their lunch. Maybe they're taking their lunch because they do their prepping for the week. So they're taking their lunch and they're using some of their work time or their lunch time to actually work their business. It could be 30 minutes, it could be 45, whatever it happens to be. And they go back to work from 2 until 6, Monday through Friday. And then at 6 o'clock, they have a variation of activities that they do. So if at 1 o'clock they engaged in product research, then they may at 6 o'clock on their way home drive by a place and pick up some stuff, order some stuff, buy some stuff. Or they could get home early and order some stuff. Or they could, again, there's many different things that could be happening here. I don't know, but they're going to figure out a process that works for them. And so they're doing that on Monday and Friday. On Tuesday and Thursday, they're engaging in some shipping related activities. So at 6 o'clock when they leave the office, maybe they're dropping off shipments. Or maybe when they get home, because they're doing drop shipping, they're going through and confirming and validating that the shipments were sent before they spend time with family, before they get too engrossed in family stuff. And then Wednesday, in this example, they're engaged in Bible study on Wednesdays for 2 hours from 6 to 7. So that means that from a planning standpoint, you got to have meals on the go, ready to go in this example. So again, there's some level of planning here that's happening. And so they're prepping for meals ready to go. Then from 7 and 8, they're engaging in having dinner with the family and doing homework with the kids, and the kids doing their nighttime routine at 9 o'clock. So that's happening Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesdays, of course, they're not doing those things except for homework and getting the kids to bed at 8 and 9. And then last but not least, at 10 o'clock every single night, Monday through Friday, they are engaging in a listing related activity and they're engaging in customer service activities. Customer service, again, answer questions, reading reviews, dealing with refunds and returns, all of those things after the kids are in bed. And then they go to bed themselves. So this is a person that's working in their e-commerce business. They're clearly working anywhere from 10 to 20 hours, probably closer to 20 every single week. And they figured out how to fold it into their life in this example. What are they shipping and what are they listing? They do that later. So we have another template that we're talking about, which is a stay-at-home mom. Again, you build a template that works for you. This stay-at-home mom is doing print on demand. She's also engaged in online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, and drop shipping. So print on demand is the extra one here. And again, you can focus on one thing. Maybe you only do print on demand. Maybe you only do drop shipping. Maybe you only do retail and online arbitrage. Maybe you only do private label. Whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. So I'm going to focus on Monday through Friday because her Monday through Friday routine is the same. She's working roughly about 30 hours in her business every single week, and it is the same. Okay. So Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock, she's getting up, meditation and exercise. Again, 15 minutes of meditation, maybe 20 minutes of exercise, maybe. Got a 5-minute break in there. Then at 8 o'clock, she's focused on getting the kids ready and out the door. 9 o'clock, she's starting her business. She's getting into her business. So she's going to do her business research, and that could be product research, listing research. Again, the what that she's actually doing, what are the things that she's doing product research on, what are the things she's doing listing research, that's in the actual schedule. This is just a template. Okay. Then at 10 o'clock, she's sourcing. Again, she's doing retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, drop shipping, and print on demand. So her sourcing game, she's a lot of different places. She's going to be specific and strategic about what she's sourcing when. So if she's doing print on demand sourcing on Mondays, and maybe she's doing drop shipping sourcing on Tuesdays, like she's figured it out. Whatever she's doing, she's got a detailed actual schedule. And then at 11 o'clock, she's listing in her business. And there's a couple of times here where it looks like she's going out and doing some sourcing. So if she's doing sourcing on Wednesday and Friday, now there may be a strategic reason as to why she's doing sourcing on Wednesday and Friday. As a stay-at-home mom myself, I can tell you, like when they stock the shelves, when they put new stuff out, when you see the Wednesday flyers, you see the Sunday flyers, like there's probably a reason why she's going out on Wednesday. So again, think about that in this example. And then we move on to at 12 o'clock in this example, she's continuing her listing and she's engaging in shipping related activities at 12 o'clock. So her listing activities, again, are extended on the days in which she is out physically sourcing, and her shipping activities started around 12. So it could be shipments that are going into, third 3PL. It could be shipments that are going into FBA. It could be shipments that are going into WFS, all of that. Then at 1 o'clock, this is where she's doing a variety of different things. At 1 o'clock on Mondays and Fridays, she's doing the admin work. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, she's doing marketing work. And on Wednesdays, she's doing her education related stuff. So she's learning something new that she's going to apply to her business. Then the rest of her schedule for the rest of the day is the same. She's knocking out her household and cleaning activities and laundry and all that other stuff. She's running errands. Maybe when she's picking up the kids, she's going to go ahead and run those errands. So maybe she's already ordered groceries and she's just driving through to pick them up. So she doesn't have to run into the stores. It could be any number of methods in which she does. And then she's got family time pretty much from 4 o'clock until 8 o'clock at night. Family time. It's all about the family. Okay, pretty much. And then in this example, at 9 o'clock, she's got personal time for herself. Maybe that's time for her and her spouse. It could be that, she's binge watching her favorite movies or shows, or she's reading a book or whatever it is. It's personal time for her. Maybe she sits in a spa, like she's got that tub with the jacuzzi jets and she's the kids are asleep. I'm going to go do that and have a bottle of wine. Who knows? I don't know. And then she's preparing for tomorrow at 10 o'clock at night. So that's Monday through Friday. On Saturdays and Sundays, I'm going to just go with Sunday first. Sunday, she's, doing her exercise routine. And then at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, she's doing her meditation and exercise. At 8 o'clock, she's engaged in admin activities. So she's got admin activities 3 times a week because she's really engaged in where she is in her business. So she's going to do administrative stuff. And then at 9 o'clock, she's planning for the week at 9 o'clock on Sunday. And then at 10 o'clock, she's got church 10 to 12, family time from 1 until 6. So she is committed to spending time with her family 1 to 6. And then from 6 to 8, she's doing her weekly prep. Maybe she doesn't want to cook every day. I know I don't. It's not a lazy thing. It's a let's be more efficient thing. Okay. And then 8 o'clock, kids routine, 9 o'clock personal time, 10 o'clock bed. So Sunday is pretty straightforward. Saturday, on the other hand, she's got a bunch of different things happening. So Saturday, she's getting up, she's doing her meditation and exercise. She's got kids from 8 until 11, kids sports stuff she's got to do. From 11 until 2, she's sourcing. So she takes advantage of, some sourcing related activities, whether that's online sourcing or physical, that could be it. Then from from 2 until 4, she's engaged in shipping related activities. So she's got some listings and she's shipping. Maybe she's sending in to Amazon FBA or WFS, whatever. That could be what she's doing. And she's handling the individual product sales throughout the week. Who knows? And then from 5 until 8, she's got family time, and then she gets her kids through the routine. So again, she's working in her business clearly 30 hours a week. She's got a plan for every day of the week. She barely works in her business on Sunday at all. She spends more time with her family and her life and making her life more efficient. So these are things that you can be looking at as opportunities when you're trying to figure out, how do I build this schedule? What does it really look like? Again, this is a fake schedule. Both of these are fake. You can download this in the e-commerce planning Facebook group, but it's just a guide for helping you to begin the process of building a template. So then you can fill in what the actual activities are going to be. What are the things you actually will be selling? What are the actual things you're going to be creating listings for? All of that. So I hope this information is a blessing to you. I hope that you use it in your business and build a better schedule for the week, and that you have the most productive day today, especially with the fact that this is the last day of April. So finish strong, and that you're starting a new month. So have a goal, a plan for the month of May. If you haven't already done your May planning, go back, listen to the May planning session, download the May planning, the monthly planning document, so you can use that to help you in your business. Seriously. Use it to your advantage. So again, my name is Nicole Whitlock. I'm with eCom Sellers. My passion is helping people in their e-commerce journey. If that is you and you need some help and support, you need a cheerleader, you need an accountability buddy, you can reach out to me directly and schedule some time. And you can go to ecomsellers.com, schedule a free 20-minute coaching session under freebies, and I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and look at your plan and your strategy and your schedule. The next thing is that if you need some support on this journey, you can definitely join eCom Sellers Academy at $17.99 a month. And there's a bunch of different perks and freebies that go with that. But in any case, I just want to help you to be successful. You gain access to over 200 training videos. You can participate in the live weekly training sessions at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. And it's $17.99 a month. You get 10 retail arbitrage, online arbitrage leads a week, and you also get 10 wholesale lists. If you are a person that is not as organized as you feel like you should be, I encourage you to grab the e-commerce planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com, download the digital version of the planner, or fill in the physical version of the planner. Use that to help you in your business. Fill out the weekly plan because it's actually editable. You can fill it in directly in the e-commerce planner and use that to help you be more productive, be more consistent in your business, make better business decisions over time, and improve your business operations over time. So I hope this session was a blessing to you. I hope you share it out to someone else and invite someone else to come back next Saturday at 7 as we go through this. And with that, I am going to say goodbye for now, y'all. Bye, guys. Have a blessed Saturday.